If you can hear this, you're in the circle now. Check your shoulders. Make sure it's just you and these words. You have now tuned in to the Let 'Em Know podcast, where the real talk's quiet and the truth talks loud. No accidents. You found this frequency. So sit back. Lock in. Let them know you're listening. You're now tuned in to the Let 'Em Know podcast.
What's good, YouTube? What's good, Savvy Crew? Coming with a live video right now, and in this one we gonna be talking about how Wi-Fi is watching you, most likely either right now, which I wouldn't doubt it, or soon to come is watching you right now in your house. But I wouldn't doubt if it's already here. So is watching you most um yeah, we gonna go ahead and jump into this video. Already watched just like a little half of it, maybe just under a half. Then I was like, you know what, I'm finna come react to this, because first it started off with, and not to take up too much time to get to the call the actual video, but we live, so we, it's a little bit more, yeah, but so yeah, we could play around with it a little bit more over here. But anyways, yeah, so um I was watching some videos on from this one channel, I forgot the name, but they had pretty much was showing a lot of military vehicles, and mainly the ones that came out of GTA. Now, of course, that those are, well, to our knowledge, is the only military vehicles that they have. So of course they'll put them in the game as well. But they probably got more, who knows. But so yeah, I was watching that channel. Then I seen from this channel about this Wi-Fi. Now I already knew this for a little bit. I already been watching videos on it, but I think he explained it the best, which is why I'm showing this video, because he's more so focusing on the actual information. You know what I'm saying? And also, before we watch this video, I want to go to his page and we gonna read so we gonna read the description of what he, what he about. Um so yeah. I so his, I don't know how to say his name. I don't even want to really, say it and butcher it. But Balawa, I don't know. He So first off, let me say this. Uh, AI technology, touchscreens, Waymo, fucking, you name it. Most likely, the military already had it, and it was designed for the military, anyways, right? I made videos on how YouTube, and all these other apps ain't really for our benefit and never was. Yes, they're for our entertainment, but that's only because they want to entertain us and keep us distracted from what's really going on or what they're really using it for, right? Okay, so, and I explained in them other videos on my other live streams, because my live streams is where I talk about the most important things, I guess you could say, and I didn't even want to set it up that way. It just happened that way, I guess, by design or by the true creator. I don't even know, by the true, it just happened that way, which I'm kind of glad, because then I can just point people to my live streams, and I'm saying, and that's really where I'm talking about some shit. But anyways, so I explained in some other videos how most of these people, like these, like So most like okay, so I explain how most of this stuff and most of the like the social media shit, Facebook, all that other shit, YouTube, you know, whatever it is that was made by people who was already a part of the industry. It wasn't just no regular old Joe Schmo people like us, right? Okay, so let's just get into the description, right? He said that he mapped the world at Google, meaning that he worked at Google before. He was already part of this industry. Okay. Now mapping the frontier of creation and computing. Your atlas to AI, AR slash VR, robotics, and the technologies blurring our physical and digital worlds, right? Okay, so he said he fell in love with merging realities at age 11, spent a decade in spatial computing, 6 years at a senior PM at Google building 3D mapping, or senior PM at Google building 3D maps. Okay, I guess that's where they, Google do the, how you get around on, do fucking, GPS and have a 3D AR core and YouTube VR for 1 billion plus users now, right? So he's already been, on the YouTube space and all this other shit. I ain't gonna say most of these creators is, but a lot of these creators, especially like when it comes to the tech side of things or the scientific side and all that shit, like now, or not now, but like on the side of that, like now Red and Mark Rober and fucking what is that, the Hacksmith and all that. Most of them was already kind of working in that, what I'm saying, space, or they wanted to be something in the industry, so they came to YouTube and started uploading or doing their own thing until they eventually could get, hopefully they could get caught, seen by somebody that can what I'm saying, help them out or something, whatever the case may be. But or like pretty much get scouted. But anyway, so yeah. So and I mentioned in a video, I forgot what video, but most of the shit that I said that was my theory came out to be true as well. I said that everybody that's talking about the 3i Atlas and thinking that it's something coming from outer space and all this other shit, it's most likely not. Because number one, ain't nothing coming in this earth, ain't nothing getting out. Unless the true creator wanted to, or whoever set this planet, whether it was Yahweh, the deity, whoever, Sophie, whoever, or the monster that Sophia made that trapped us here, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is keeping us in this firmament, whoever, it's nothing coming in, it's nothing coming out, and lets that deity or that person, whatever, take it down, right? Or whatever the case may be until they get destroyed, whatever, right? Okay. So I called it. I said what I think the 3i. I didn't make no video on the 3i Atlas until I actually knew I wasn't gonna come on here trying to, what I'm saying, just throw some shit out there, right? That's not what I'm doing. Or just, what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, right? So I just waited. And then it hit me. It dawned on me. They started coming out with these Boston Dynamic videos and all this shit with this robot called the Atlas. And then I was like, wait a second. Because they already had the 1i Atlas, 2i Atlas. Now this is the 3i Atlas, right? So I already had a theory. So something just dawned on me. It came to me when I was like, hold on, maybe the Atlas ain't even no space rock ship bullshit like they alien whatever like they try to say. whatever they talking about is definitely here on Earth. And what I think it is robots. The 3i Atlas is them. Or when they were saying the 3i Atlas is on its way, or now the 3i Atlas is here and all that shit. Now that they, I believe they saying the 3i Atlas is here now, right? Now they got, now they got robots that's more human like than they ever have been, right? So I was like, hold on, is it these 3i Atlas got to be robot because one eye, a I, one eye, AI, just AI, right? One eye Atlas, AI. They already had, they've been had AI, right? So that was the first step. That was the first one eye Atlas, I guess you could say. The two eye Atlas was when they, I guess, got them walking ish or something, or on the verge of walking or rolling on wheels or whatever the fuck may be. A robot that a little more on the hill, whatever roll. And then the 3i Atlas is now what we got, like how they showing videos of robots doing karate and backflipping and all that other bullshit, right? They got robot dogs now and police dogs and robot police to all that other shit, and robot wheels, police wheels that'll chase you down and all that other. Listen, so I was like, hold on, that 3i Atlas gotta be the damn robots, right? And this right here just further proved to me that it is, because he's already been in this space shit, nigga, for since he was 11, right? It's saying it right here. He's been merging realities, or he fell in love with merging realities at age 11. So he been in this, right? Then on right here it says your Atlas to AI, your Atlas, read this, your Atlas to AI, AR/VR, right? AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, AI, augmented, or whatever that I could stand for. But the A for AI is probably augmented in virtuality or some shit. I ain't no telling what the fuck, right? But it literally says your Atlas, like 3i Atlas, 1i, 2i Atlas to AI. I called it. I don't think there's been nobody else who said this. Now, I don't care about being the first or none of that other bullshit, but I called it. Everybody else was trying to make it seem like some damn alien spaceship rock floating coming from. No, I ain't never thought that. But right here, I guess it's proven that Atlas is really AI. Is just the robots. That's all it is, right? You go search the Atlas robot, or you go search, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna pop up an Atlas robot. Wasn't Atlas the dude with the world on his shoulder or some shit like that? What AI is pretty much, it got the world on its shoulder. Everything runs off of, well, is damn near finna run off, everything is pretty much finna run off of AI, smart cities and all that other shit. That's what they setting up Skynet and all that other shit for, and Nvidia, what the fuck, Oracle and all that. And there was this video talking about uh there was this video of a dude trying to be a smart ass or something. Not really, but he, you know what I'm saying, he was talking about everybody think that they're going to really be storing information off into the clouds, like literally like outside or some shit, like off in thin air or something. No, nigga, we know that it's not actually, or some of us at least know that it's not actually going to be stored off into the fucking clouds or some shit, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just the cloud is called the database, the servers, the, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah. So let's get to this video though. Let's get to this video. And there was another video I was gonna show y'all too by him. No, right here. So I was gonna show world model versus game engine. So I was gonna show this DARPA military tech to Waymo self-driving. And I was gonna show another one. But I forgot, but I ain't gonna lie, this is my first time seeing this channel, and I'm finna be watching a whole lot of his videos, especially if he focus uh on the technology side, because y'all gonna see. And a lot of people in the comments on this video I'm finna show y'all about the Wi-Fi was talking about how he was so excited and all this other stuff while presenting the information, and you know how excited he was talking about it. It's not, and how our private, and how excited he pretty much was about our privacy not being private no more. It's not that, which, because he's in this tech world, so he's more excited about like the actual tech. He's not really thinking about the problems it could maybe cause, I don't think. And even if he is, and then, but anyways, yeah, the Eagle Eye, I made a video about Eagle Eye 2. I made a video about Eagle Eye 2. Y'all go check that out. It's in my videos tabs, I believe, not my live streams. But anyways, yeah, let's get into this video though. I'm gonna show this one, Wi-Fi God's eye to monitor Iran in 4D. I don't know I don't know. I'm probably gonna do that one, and then this DARPA Waymo one, and then if there's any other videos, I'll make like a part 2 or whatever. But yeah, that's what it said. What they said: nodes aren't the future of AI creation. Here's what it is. Okay, well, anyways, yeah, I'm finna show them too. So let's get into this video first, real quick.
Your Wi-Fi router can already detect when somebody walks through your home. Not with a camera, not with a sensor you bought, just the Wi-Fi signal bouncing off your body. Alright, so here's how this works. Your Wi-Fi router is constantly sending out radio waves at about 5 gigahertz. These waves, of course, bounce off of everything. I'm talking your walls, your furniture, and of course your body. And when you move through your home, those reflections change in ways that are really, really specific to what moved and how it moved. Your router already tracks something called channel state information, or CSI. It's basically how the router optimizes the signal between itself and all your devices. But CSI also encodes the shape and movement of everything between the router and your devices. And of course, that includes you. Xfinity figured this out. They shipped this feature called Wi-Fi Motion to every customer with one of the newer gateways. This is at no extra cost. You don't need any extra hardware. Your existing network essentially becomes a motion sensor. And of course, they market it as a smart home feature. I've got this working where when I walk into a room, I can automatically turn the lights on. Now, if I
God. Okay, so I don't know how, I forgot how I started this video off, but I was supposed to start it off like I was supposed to start off and say uh a lot of people think that this technology is new, but it's not. The only thing new about it, or newer about it, is that they are yeah, that shit got me crying and sweating now. But the only thing newer or new about it is that they can do everything that they already been doing, but easier now. They just made it easier. That's the only difference. So instead of and supposedly, which I believe it, but Wi-Fi already couldn't been it could already do this, see you through your house and all this other shit, and everything that you doing will pretty much make a virtual map of wherever you at, and all the stances and poses and whatever, right? With 3G, 1G, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's been here. The only thing that it's doing is getting better at doing it and get easier. They're making it easier and better at doing it. That's the only difference.
pull apart the marketing brand,
Because you got to remember, most most of this technology was already made for the military, for the CIA, the government, and shit. Right? Not only that, I'm pretty sure they been had this technology from the older times, the ancient, the old world society or whatever. I'm pretty sure they been had this technology. I'm I forgot his name, but it's I believe Indian dude. Praveen or something like that, and he go around the temples and Angkor Wat and all that other stuff, and they should be showing and breaking down hieroglyphs and shit like that, ancient hieroglyphs. Nigga, they had Wi-Fi, they had all this, but supposedly they had hieroglyphs with people that had tablets, phones, touchscreen shit. You know what I'm saying? They had Wi-Fi signal on there. They had the light bulb. Listen, they been had all this. It just wasn't the way that it probably was today. Maybe it was. Who knows? But everything, listen, I don't, they use the word evolve, right? They use the word evolve because nothing, nothing, nothing never really leaves. It just transforms into something different or evolve, right? So they've been had all this technology. It may have been it may not have been advanced like we have today, but it may have been the foundation to get what we have today. You know what I'm saying? Like they may have had phones or some type of shit like back then, or a way to communicate with people from longer distances. And to them, that was advanced technology. But to us, it may be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I got, to us, it may be like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they had, like, it may be like, oh, it may, you know what I'm saying? It may not seem advanced to us, but to them, it was for their time, just like today. What we have is advanced for our time, I guess you could say. Um, but yeah, ain't none of this new. It's just they're evolving it.
The real term for this in the industry is called presence detection. That's the original term. Your router is capable of detecting your presence. Of course, the companies are going to brand this as Wi Fi motion, Wi Fi sensing, Linksys aware, whatever sounds less creepy, basically. But the underlying capability is the same.
And honestly, that's the key word right here. Creepy. Because think if somebody was just outside of your house right now in the window and they had a phone up like this and they would just record you every time you go to a different spot, they'll run to this different window and then start recording you again. Like, think about it, bro. That would be creepy, right? Same shit was going on right now. Every time you in a store, every time you it just in your house, you think you know what I'm saying, alone, probably, whatever. No, he's always, when he's always watching, they're always watching. You know how they, like, God, he's everywhere at once and he's always watching everything and everybody. That's what that's what they making this fucking AI to do. That's what they're making this technology to do. This fucking be everywhere at once, omnipresent. And not only that, but like I was saying, the creepy part is that it always, you think you're alone, but it's always it's watching. You have no more privacy no more. I'm pretty sure right now it can't hear you. Siri and all that shit can. Something else is listening to you, your TV, because supposedly your TV can hear you too. Your TV is always taking screenshots of whatever you're watching, taking pictures. And if it ain't now, eventually it's coming, which is why they telling us. Like, we don't live in no damn matrix virtual. We don't live in no fucking, listen, we might live in a AI simulation, whatever, you know what I'm saying, of matrix, whatever. We might live in a simulation, but I don't think we are yet. They're trying to get us to that point, but I don't think we are yet. But they're trying to get us to that point, which is why they're trying to have everybody be so get so used to it and say that, oh yeah, we're in a simulation, so by the time that we're in it, it's not going to be nothing. And we already was thinking that we was anyway, so when it really comes, we ain't gonna even know. Or shit, we ain't gonna have no problem with it. We already adapted to it because they've been talking about it for 2 + 3, 4, 5 years, or whatever the case may be, before it actually came. You know what I'm saying?
router knows that you're there. Now, if what I'm saying is already evoking that scene from The Dark Knight where the Batman uses sonar from cell phones to catch the Joker, you would be pretty close to the money because motion detection is just step one. Research
And not only that, a lot of the stuff that they get comes from nature as well. So that's how you just said sonar. That's pretty much what your Wi-Fi is doing. It's like a sonar detection. Every time it sends out the electrical pulse or whatever, it's sending out that whatever the fuck it's called, that frequency, and it's just bouncing off of you, bouncing off the walls, bouncing off everything, just mapping your whole house.
Researchers have already published steps 2 and 3.
What if instead of designing thumbnails, you could just paste your YouTube link into our AI and it would create scroll stopping?
Let's get into it. So in 2023, Carnegie Mellon University published a paper called Dense Pose from Wi-Fi. Using just Wi-Fi signal from a standard router, an AI model is able to reconstruct your full body pose. This is where we step beyond just someone in a room to actually understanding the position of your arms, your legs, your overall posture. Multiple people in the room at once, through the walls, with no camera, just radio waves. This is really wild tech. And then it gets even more sophisticated. So these Wi-Fi signals interact with your body in a very unique way, depending on your bone density, your body mass, your posture, etc. A 2025
So y'all remember when if you ain't seen the video, there was a video on Donald Trump talking about and I think I did react to it. It's in one of my videos. He was talking about damn, what did he say? He said something about pretty much we're going to see the inside of you or some shit like that. He was talking on he was doing some type of speech or interview or whatever, and they was talking about the technology or some shit, or he was talking about the 5-6G. He was talking about camera something. I forgot what he was talking about, but he was basically saying they're going to be able to see like the inside of you. They're going to be able to map your body, know pretty much. I forgot what it was, but if you know what I'm talking about, you'll probably know what I'm talking about if I explained it good enough. But anyways, yeah. So this is probably what he was talking about. This is probably what he's talking about. Let's take it back. He says it's going to be able to know you or map your bone density or some shit, or it depends on your bone density, some shit.
Then it gets even more sophisticated. So these Wi-Fi signals interact with your body in a very unique way, depending on your bone density, your body mass, your posture, etc. A 2025 paper called Wifi showed that we could take advantage of these Wi-Fi signals to identify who the person actually is, essentially re-identification. So the way you walk, the way you shift your weight, even the way you sit, it creates this very unique biometric signature in the Wi-Fi signal. And they used a transformer neural network to match those signatures to specific individuals. Now, this is simultaneously creepy, but
Pretty much your digital footprint. That's your digital self. That's crazy. That's your digital self right there.
also super useful. In a sense, your AI systems can know who the person in the room is, so you can change the preferences accordingly. And you don't need to have like an invasive camera in every single room to do it. So if we take a step back, step 1 is Wi-Fi just detecting movement. This is already working in millions of homes. Step 2 is Wi-Fi reconstructing your precise body pose through the walls. This is published research. Step 3 is Wi-Fi being able to re-identify a specific person just based on their unique signature, also published. Suddenly we've gone from a very coarse-grained motion sensor to essentially a surveillance system that works in the dark, through walls, on hardware that you already own. And the gap between detect motion and identify the person is a simple software update. The hardware is already installed. You know, a little bit of edge compute and you're already there.
So and that's the thing. Like once again, none of this is old. I mean, none of this is old. None of this is new. So when they come out with something, yeah, all they got pretty much all they got to do is send out a software update. You update it, and now it can do. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to change nothing on the inside, nothing. Now they might come up with newer versions, so it could do it faster or more efficiently than the older version. But the technology, that everything that's inside the phone, everything that's inside the TV, the whatever it is, the Wi-Fi, it already had the technology inside of it. Just like you said, all it is, the difference is just a simple update, and whether they have it installed on your shit or whether you install it on your shit or not. All they got to do is send out that update, a mass update to everybody. Next thing you know, now it's doing this new feature or whatever the case may be. Didn't have to touch the inside, upgrade it, none of that shit. It's been there. The technology already been there.
Now, you can imagine this technology is very dual use. You can use it for surveillance, but you can also use it to power your own AI Jarvis. But what's really interesting is this exact same physics, like radio waves essentially as a sensing medium, is being commercialized at a massive scale. A company called Zynar emerged after 9 years in stealth with $1 billion valuation and $100 million in funding. The investors include Steve Jurvetson from the SpaceX board, the co-founders of Yahoo and Siri, and Skype's founding engineer. Now, I'll leave it to your own imagination to think about what a company was doing in stealth mode for 9 frickin' years, but the tech itself is worth digging into. What Zynar has built is essentially synchronizing existing Wi-Fi and 5G signals to sub-nanosecond precision. I mean, I'm talking about radio waves that travel at 30 centimeters per nanosecond. If you can measure the timing of that precisely, you essentially get sub-meter quality positioning.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
That works indoors, outdoors, through the wall, no GPS required, no new sensors required. They're calling it the foundational layer for physical AI. And honestly, that makes a ton of sense. Like, we've talked about this in the past. GPS does not work indoors. Cameras can drift. Nobody has cracked a universal positioning layer for the physical world. Zynar is saying that we already have one. It's called Wi-Fi and 5G. We just weren't listening to it correctly. They've got 100 patents filed, 90 of those have been issued, and there are 0 rejections. They've already got $500 million in contracts and many more MOUs. Now look, they haven't named their carrier partners yet, and of course MOUs aren't signed deals, but that investor list and patent portfolio tells you that this is not vaporware. All right, so Wi-Fi can see you through your walls, and a $1 billion startup just turned every wireless network into a positioning grid. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because the defense world figured this out too. You might know Palmer Luckey, co-founder of Oculus, sold it to Facebook, and then started this defense company called Anduril.
So why is it never regular? Like, if I was to come out with an invention and it was like some shit like game changing like that or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Something that, like, you know what I'm saying? They either take your invention, your idea, and black shelf it, whatever the fuck they call it, blacklist it, whatever the fuck they call it, where they put it up on the shelf and they never use it again, or they buy your idea, or that's what I meant to say, buy, take, whatever. So either one they'll do, but buy your idea, and then they'll put somebody else's name on it to be the face of it or whatever, or they'll buy you and your face is gonna be, you know what I'm saying, but you gonna probably, you got bought, you didn't, so, and they you know, put you on a contract, you didn't sign that contract, and ain't no telling if you didn't read it all the way, ain't no telling what you didn't read, and yeah, that's the either way it go, bro. Eventually, and then you might get knocked off later on, you know what I'm saying, who knows, but like of it, but listen, bro, it's always people who's been working in that space. Now, of course, you could maybe say, well, I mean, yeah, they're in that space, so they'll probably be the ones, of course, to have that idea. But even if a regular person did have the idea like me, it's still probably listen, bro. It's always like he said, the Oculus. It's if it's anything that's invented like this, computer phones, some shit like that, it's most likely by somebody who's already part of that shit, who's already in the tech, in the Silicon Valley type movement shit. You know what I'm saying? In that space, that industry, whatever.
Covered their VR headset in the past. And as of this week, they just raised $4 billion at a $60 billion valuation, with A16Z and Thrive Capital leading. Kind of insane, but also goes to show you how much money and potential is left in the defense sector. One of their systems is the appropriately named Pulsar, essentially an AI-powered electromagnetic warfare platform that can passively sense and classify RF activity. It listens to every radio frequency emission in an area and identifies what's producing it and geolocates the source, and can even deliver an electronic attack. All autonomous, all running on the edge AI, meaning you don't need to send this data up to some cloud to process. Anduril, of course, also deploys autonomous surveillance towers on the US-Mexico border through the CBP. These sensing arrays have like radar, thermal, camera, all fused together.
And I want to say this real quick too, because they may have gave us AI for our entertainment, but at the same time, what I also think they did it for, because it'd be multiple reasons they do this stuff, but one of the reasons why I think they gave us AI is because you have to train it. If they just using the people that they have on their team and all that shit to train it, it could take years. So that's why they probably gave it out to us, so we can help them train it with maybe like simple or basic, or you know what I'm saying, shit, you know what I'm saying, little, you know what I'm saying, a little the other shit that they the TD more or whatever, you know what I'm saying, a little, you know what I'm saying, we gonna pretty much help them train it. Then, but they're still helping too. They're still training it, but they're doing more of the government side of the train, or CIA, you know, warfare, weaponry side of it. You know what I'm saying? Using it for things. You know what I'm saying? Or for, you know what I'm saying, type shit.
Through their Lattice AI platform into a single real-time operational picture. The essence is really the same principle as your Wi-Fi router sensing your body, except you're using more modalities, and this is a $60 billion defense contractor sensing everything on the border and the battlefield. So we went from the home to the enterprise to the battlefield. But we have one more domain left to go, and that's space. And this is honestly where it starts to feel like science fiction. Let's take the same idea and move it into orbit. Hawkeye 360 has 30 satellites flying in clusters of 3 about 500 kilometers up, and they have a single job: detect and geolocate every freaking RF emitter on Earth. I'm talking ship radios, radar systems, GPS jammers, emergency beacons. They use this technology to track dark ships, basically vessels that turn off their transponders to hide because they're doing illegal stuff. But of course, that doesn't matter because
And I watched the video on that too. They said it was like fishing boats that be doing. Well, of course it'd be fishing. Well, not of course, but it, you know what I'm saying, it'll probably be them too. But there'd be fishing boats that be you know, they'll do it and be stealing fish or whatever, or going in places or offshore, or was that be going in places that they shouldn't go fish or whatever, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I watched a video on that too. I forgot what it was called, and I think I was gonna make a reaction to it, but I just never did. I got so many videos I'm supposed to make. I just ain't even. I got a lot of ideas, but some of them, yeah, some of them I'll be like, should I do this? And then next thing you know, I see when I'm watching YouTube or react to TikToks or something, somebody then, you know what I'm saying, made a video about the idea. I was like, should I do this? And you know what I'm saying, I should have did it. But ideas ain't really never really yours. They just, if you don't use them, they gonna float back off into the atmosphere.
I'd still see the radio signal, meaning you can go dark on AIS, this open source data that I use to track the Iran strikes, but you can't go dark on physics. Pretty freaking wild. So of course this company has contracts with the NRO, the National Reconnaissance Office, Raytheon's an investor, another company called Spire Global has 100 satellites doing the same kind of RF intelligence work. That little mini map in your home is effectively global. There are satellites overhead right now whose entire job is to light up every single RF emitter on the planet. Every radio, every radar, every phone is a dot on the map.
Enjoy convenient banking and a welcoming space all in one place. Capital One Cafe.
Lizzie, what are you doing today?
So I wrote a song.
And listen, if you ask me, the Skynet I don't think it's a literal net in the sky, but I think low key, uh, yes, we are in like a firmament, but they have probably covered the firmament with their own like wallpaper type shit or dome, like the damn Las Vegas Sphere or some shit. Like they put like some type of other thing under, or you know what I'm saying, above us to make their own matrix or create their own simulation, I guess. That's one of the theories I've been thinking lately. But yeah, I ain't really said it because I'm, you know, I'm saying I'm like maybe they, you know, maybe they haven't, maybe they have, but yeah, I think they might have done something like that because, and I got that idea from this movie called fuck, what is it called, Geostorm or some shit like that. Yeah, I think it's called Geostorm, and pretty much they had satellites. If you pretty much, if you ain't seen the movie, go watch it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It was like satellites connected on the grid, and yeah, it caused it. If you ain't seen it, go watch.
So if I take a step back, to me, these are not separate stories. Like your living room, Zynar, Anduril, Hawkeye 360, all of them have the same fundamental insights. Radio waves are a sensing medium. They're a modality to geolocate and track things in the physical world, and they always have been, right? We just did not have the compute and the algorithms to make sense of it. We just treated radio waves as dumb pipes that were carrying data from point A to point B. But in reality, every single Wi-Fi signal, every single 5G pulse, every radio broadcast paints a spatial picture of the physical world. Researchers learn to read it for automation. Zynar needs it for enterprise positioning. Anduril and Hawkeye 360 read it for defense, whether they do it from land or from space. In other words, RF is the next spatial modality, and it'll sit right alongside LiDAR, RGB cameras, infrared cameras. Except this tech is already deployed in every building, on every battle space, and overhead in orbit. And it already works through the wall, in the dark, in shitty weather, with hardware nobody thinks twice about. To take even a bigger picture, this is yet another layer being added to the stack for physical AI. I mean, think about the tech I had a chance to work on.
And I ain't gonna lie, low key, I wish people would quit calling it space because there is no, so I guess you could say space, but like going outside of this earth, out, which is outside of the firmament, is not going to happen. Now you can go high up in the atmosphere to eventually you'll get to a point where you can't go no more, and you'll probably either burn up because the so-called Van Allen belt or whatever, radiation belt, or you'll probably just bust or blow up or get stuck on the firmament or whatever. Depending on how fast you're going, or depending on what the firmament is made of, or whatever, however the true creator set it up. If you touch it, you might explode. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But however it's set up, you know what I'm saying? Or if you have a pure enough, if your heart is pure enough, if your soul, your spirit, your mind, whatever is pure enough, if you touch it, your mic can slide right through it. You go right through it. Who knows? And if you're not, you're like somebody like these damn gritty ass fucking capitalistic motherfuckers, and they want to stay here on this earth and keep on doing the bad shit, or they know they can't leave because they not pure and all that other shit. They can't, they greedy want all that, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. If they touch it, they might blow up and explode or whatever, get stuck and can't go through it. But whatever the case may be. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going, but oh yeah, I wish people would stop calling it space, because there really is no space now. I've watched a whole lot of high altitude balloon footage and all that shit. Yes, you can go high up to where looks pretty much pitch black, but that's as far as you get. Once that balloon touched that firmament or whatever it is that stops the Van Allen belt, the radiation belt, whatever it is that's keeping us, that whatever it is, whatever, once the balloon touched that, it pops for some reason. It never goes no higher, no whatever. It always goes up to where and then just pops.
Visual positioning system. This is the tech that uses cameras, LiDAR, 3D maps, and all kinds of fancy sensors to let a device know exactly where it is down to the centimeter. Now, VPS already works indoors and outdoors, but RF sensing is another modality entirely. It could complement VPS as an additional sensor layer, or it could stand on its own as its own positioning system. Either way, you're adding day, night, and all-weather spatial awareness that works through walls in the dark using hardware people already have. That's what makes this super powerful for physical AI in the real world, not just augmented reality, but also robotics and home automation. Now, look, the question isn't whether radio waves become a primary sensing layer. That is already happening at scale. Look at the companies that we talked about. Most people don't even know that their Wi Fi.
And I just want to say this one real quick too, because I don't think it's actual like maybe glass ceiling above us or like a glass, like a damn snow globe or something. But it may be, it may not be. Who knows what it is? You know what I'm saying? It may be like the a radiation belt that we can't see is clear, is see through. We think we going somewhere, but as soon as you touched it, that motherfucker get to moving out and sending waves and pulsing out, and you stop and blow up or whatever the case may be. But or it may be something clear you think you going through it and just get burnt up a lot. Who knows what it really is? That's why nothing can come in, cause or they say so-called asteroids or whatever, they come over, whatever the fuck, once they hit that and they burn up once they come in the atmospheres, cause they passing through whatever is, well, you know what I'm saying? Whatever they got to go through, whatever that's burning it, who knows? But yeah, it really ain't no space like we think there is a space, or however they try to paint the picture in our heads from a kid and give us the idea of space. That ain't the idea, that ain't what it really is.
Is capable of
That's mind warfare, mind control. They giving us a thought, or they giving us a picture on something before we can even grasp of what it really is. You know what I'm saying? That's why they put that, you know what I'm saying, that white Jesus in your face before you could even grasp or put, you know, saying whatever religion off in your face before you can even grasp, or before you can even understand what is, or even try to understand what is really going on here and what we're really doing here and what, you know what I'm saying, or who's working what and what's work, you know what I'm saying, and all that other shit.
seeing. The question is, what do we do with this technology? Like, it took us so long to realize that GPS location aggregated was both useful, but also pretty freaking scary. I think we're going to go through that same uncomfortable period with RF as a sensing layer, but we have so many lessons from the past. We need to take advantage of those learnings and have our eyes wide open, pun intended, about what we can and should do with this technology. In my opinion, it's super cool to have cameras outside your home, but cameras inside your home is kind of freaking creepy. So if you can use these passive sensing modalities to figure out,
Like that's what I'm saying. Just think if every time so think if it was like because you don't know, we don't make our own house, so who knows, there might be cameras off in your house and you don't even know because you didn't build a motherfucker. Well, you most likely ain't build a motherfucker. There is some people who done built their own houses and on their own land that they bought, which ain't really still theirs, but you know what I'm saying. Well, if you build in a house on, so you know that, but if you buying one from somebody that's already been built and on some land, yeah, you think you didn't bought that out, it's still not yours. But shit, probably if you didn't made the motherfucker too by your own self. But anyways, yeah, who knows? You didn't make the house, so there might be some secret cameras installed if you had a weird ass person who was doing the house or whatever, or that might just be the government standard and they never told us or whatever. Since 911 91, somebody called 911, like what Medea said, whatever the fuck. Yeah, but yeah, bro, so you don't know. You know what I'm saying? But think if every time you bought a house there was a camera installed in every room, even the bathroom, and you ain't even know it. You ain't even know it. No future. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even know it. That would be creepy as fuck, right? That's pretty much what's going on. Wi-Fi, your phone, anything that's watching, recording you, whether it gets your, whether it get like what you know what I'm saying, your private parts, or just a mental map of your body, and they don't actually see like your physical, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know what I'm saying, like if you was actually being recorded. Either way it goes, that's still like, why do y'all want to do all that? Like, what's the point? What's like, what it, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? What are you doing with it? Like, as kids, when we got to take them damn school photos after they send them to us, is it just like off in somebody's computer, some corporation, some whatever fake business computers, until like, what are they doing with that after? Well, we didn't found out. Well, nobody never really thought about that, but I mean, that's the world we live in. If you, I mean, if you don't ask questions, if you don't question shit, you never know. You just gonna be blindly walking into shit. You just gonna be blindly doing shit, not really understanding, because you're not asking a simple question of why. So, you know what I'm saying? Something a child asks all the time to get an understanding. Why? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy work.
Who and what's in a room, that's freaking amazing for so many different applications. If you got people in the wild trying to do bad things and evade the authorities, it's amazing to use this technology to track them down. But
And that's what I'm saying. Ain't it wouldn't be nothing wrong with it if the government was actually supposed to be what the government is and wasn't on no other shit. But we now see, or a lot of y'all now see, I mean, a lot of us been, even though I ain't made no video, I mean, I started making videos on it, but even though I ain't really, you know what I'm saying, and been on YouTube for years making videos on it, I've been watching these videos for years. Since I've been saying, since before I even understood what the hell I was watching. I was watching when I was in other videos, I recently, like I said in other videos, I recently just left Christianity, left religion, because I was always scared to, because even though I I didn't really, I've always had a feeling like, you know what I'm saying, like you know, everybody who know, yeah, you always had that feeling, but yeah, I finally just went on. It was like, yeah, no, this ain't right. Cause yeah, but anyways, but yeah, I don't even know where I was going. Hold on, let me see if I can try and see. I mean, a lot of, but that's what I'm saying. Ain't it wouldn't be nothing wrong with it. Oh, okay. But anyways, yeah. Now we know that the government is on some other shit. You know what I'm saying? We know that the government is not really what they're here to be doing, which is actually protecting and providing and watching over, at least being the governance, not government, because that's the govern your mind. That's mind control. But to you know, govern, to pretty much be a not a leader, but pretty much like the leader. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed, you know what I'm saying. You supposed that like we some of us is dependent on the government, but we're supposed to depend on the government and know that it's for good. Right now, we're dependent on the government. Some of us know that it's not good. It's not for the good. Some of us don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not for the good, because we now know with the Epstein files, it's crazy they had to come out and say it. But even if that's true or not true, whatever the case may be, and if it ain't true, I don't know why y'all would want to even, you know what I'm saying? That's still weird that you would even try to associate yourself with that, and you know what I'm saying, whatever the case. But anyways, whether it is or ain't true, listen, bro, the government is supposed to be here to help. They on some whole other shit, so it wouldn't be no problem with them having installing fucking surveillance cameras everywhere, all throughout, you know what I'm saying, and all in stores and stuff like that, but all over on the streets after 911. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be no problem. But it's a problem, because what are y'all really, why are you sending off our data and, you know what I'm saying, black marketing our information and selling our information and shit like that? Why are y'all doing all this weird ass shit with our, you know what I'm saying? That's where it becomes a problem. You know what I'm saying? Using this technology to spy on people, to kidnap people, to do crazy things, bro. That's when it becomes the problem. Now, it wouldn't be no problem if y'all was actually using it in the right way and what you're really supposed to use it for. And after so long, the footage, well, I don't, who knows if after so long the footage get deleted or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But pretty much, or not even deleted, because if you need to recall up on it some years later to touch up on the case or whatever the case, or if you're still working on it, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? If it was actually used for what it's supposed to be used for, then it wouldn't be no problem. But my nigga, y'all got all these cameras that can track car license plates and track people and scan, and now y'all finna have facial recognition and bring up all people's information with it and all this type of shit, bro. But y'all still can't catch no criminals. Y'all still can't catch nothing. Y'all still can't do nothing. It's still unsolved cases that y'all, it's like, what the fuck is going on, bro? And some of it ain't because y'all really can't solve it. It's just because y'all don't want to solve it and may be in on it, or it may be your buddy, or it may have been your buddy that you're trying to stick up for. Which, I mean, I get that, but now if it was on some other shit, no, yeah, I don't get that. But if it was like a little, you know what I'm saying, or he had the self-defense, but it wasn't legal in that state or some shit, whatever the case, you know what I'm saying? Listen, if it was supposed to actually be used for what it's supposed to be used for, it wouldn't be a problem. But it's not. So that's the problem. And that's why I'm talking about it, and other YouTubers, he not really pointing out the problems. He's just more so presenting the information and the, you know what I'm saying, the technological side of it. But there is other YouTubers that's talking about the problems of it. A whole lot of people that's talking about the problems of it.
Keep going back to that scene from The Dark Knight. And really, the cliche quote comes to mind: with great power comes great responsibility. Meanwhile, most people don't even know their Wi-Fi can see. If you found this video interesting, please send it to a friend. And if you want to learn more about visual positioning system and how it fits into this physical AI.
So that's the end of this video. All right, let's go to this real quick, because I made a video about
Wait, were you even listening? You haven't taken a single.
All right, so Waymo just dropped its world model last week.
About how GPS and all that ain't really, it's if you ain't seen my other live streams or any of my other videos, go watch them. You go, just go check them out. But let's jump into this.
And this is a big deal. It illustrates just how far we've come, where physical AI in the real world is training on fully synthetic worlds today. But here's the thing, just a few years ago, this entire approach to building and deploying autonomous vehicles looked completely different. Now, if you live in one of the 6 major cities where Waymo operates today, you've probably seen these things everywhere. And with their latest funding round, major expansion is inevitable. But despite Waymo being on the road for 9 years, it's only in the last 3 that it became clear how these cars would actually learn to navigate any environment around the world. Now, for us to truly understand how autonomous cars see the world today, we need to start at the beginning. So in 1984, DARPA, or the Defense Advanced Research Projects.
Hold on, ain't there a GPS like Apple Maps and shit? Ain't there a map called Waymo? It was like a ghost or something like that, bro. Hold on. What is hold on. No, Waze. Okay, Waze. Okay, it was Waze Maps. Never mind. Waze Maps. I was finna say, so is that why they released it to us? So they can have, while we driving, it's mentally, it's mapping the roads or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was finna put the puzzle piece together, my nigga. But okay, it's called Waze.
Agency released their first autonomous land vehicle, or ALV. Then in 1995, Carnegie Mellon's NavLab had a minivan that drove 2,800 miles coast to coast from Pittsburgh to San Diego with fully autonomous steering. Now, to be clear, that was just the steering wheel. Humans were still controlling the speed and the brakes, but it was the first no-hands drive across America. Pretty much cruise control on steroids. And then basically from the 90s into the early 2000s, we had defense contractors and university labs that were chipping away at the problem, but the progress itself was exceedingly slow. So even though the idea of autonomous vehicles had existed for decades at that point, nobody had cracked how to get these things to function in the messy real world. Then in 2004, DARPA started the Grand Challenge. This was set in the Mojave Desert, where basically you got 15 vehicles and a $1 million prize. It was open to anyone, and the idea was build an autonomous vehicle that can drive this 142-mile course. Of course, you had engineering teams from all over the world showing up with these like Frankenstein car rigs, SUVs, dune buggies, motorcycles covered with a bunch of different sensors, LiDAR, RGB, the list goes on. And then the results. The first year was an abysmal failure, with Carnegie Mellon's Sandstorm making it the furthest ahead at just 7.4 miles. But just 18 months later, in 2005, they ran this competition again. Same desert, slightly different course, and this time a $2 million prize. And 5 vehicles finished the entire 132-mile course. Stanford's modified Volkswagen won in 6 hours and 53 minutes, led by a man named Sebastian Thrun, who would later go on to start Google's self-driving car project. Carnegie Mellon came second. Then in 2007, DARPA created the Urban Challenge, which moved to a mock city at a former Air Force base, where basically you had cars that had to navigate traffic, intersections, deal with things like, Of
course, the one that was number 32 is called Oded.
Intersections, deal with things like parking and merging, like essentially simulating actual driving. This year, Carnegie Mellon's boss won first place, led by Chris Urmson, who would later also lead Google's self-driving car project. So you might see a theme emerging here, because in January 2009, within Google X, essentially Google's Moonshot Factory,
Man, bro, nigga. See, this is why I need people in the chat, bro. That's crazy. I just did this whole thing, and that motherfucker wasn't even on the right screen. What the figgity fuck? Anyways, bro. Shit. Should I just leave it? Listen. Look. If you made it this far, you real as fuck. And look. This is the person that I was watching. Where am I at? 319. And this is the first video that I watched. So if you want to go back and watch it yourself, you can. This is the video right here. This is the first one I watched. And let me go back to this one. I'm gonna restart this video, cause boy, this whole time I'm glad I checked the camera.
The AI toolkit,
man, bro, that's crazy, bro.
Is live on Artlist. Every leading AI tool you need for video creation is now
parking and merging.
That's real, but damn, bro, that's crazy. Yeah, I ain't sweating it though, cause I was still spitting facts. I mean, shit. If you was just listening to, I mean, I guess you could put it on for like background noise or some shit. Put it on as a background. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be technical difficulties, technical errors. You know what I'm saying? You know, even I ain't the person.
One focus, unlocking your ambition through technology, networking, cloud, AI.
All right, so Waymo just
I ain't redoing nothing. I'm gonna see because I think after it's live, you can make like slight adjustments to it. You can't really add in, you know what I'm saying, a whole nother video and all that other shit, or whatever. But I think I can make slight adjustments and maybe put something in the beginning to let people know or something. But we'll see.
dropped its world model last week. and this is a big deal. It illustrates just how far we've come, where physical AI in the real world is training on fully synthetic worlds today. But here's the thing, just a few years ago, this entire approach to building and deploying autonomous vehicles looked completely different. Now, if you live in one of the 6 major cities where Waymo operates today, you've probably seen these things everywhere. And with their latest funding round, major expansion is inevitable. But despite Waymo being on the road for 9 years, it's only in the last 3 that it became clear how these cars would actually learn to navigate any environment around the world. Now, for us to truly understand how autonomous cars see the world today, we need to start at the beginning. So in 1984, DARPA, or the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, released their first autonomous land vehicle, or ALV. Then in 1995, Carnegie Mellon's NavLab had a minivan that drove 2,800 miles coast to coast from Pittsburgh to San Diego with fully autonomous steering. Now, to be clear, that was just the steering wheel. Humans were still controlling the speed and the brakes, but it was the first no-hands drive across America. Pretty much cruise control on steroids. And then basically from the 90s into the early 2000s, we had defense contractors and university labs that were chipping away at the problem, but the progress itself was exceedingly slow. So even though the idea of autonomous vehicles had existed for decades at that point, nobody had cracked how to get these things to function in the messy real world. Then in 2004, DARPA started the Grand Challenge. This was set in the Mojave Desert, where basically you got 15 vehicles and a $1 million prize. It was open to anyone, and the idea was build an autonomous vehicle that can drive this 142-mile course. Of course, you had engineering teams from all of the world showing up with these like Frankenstein car rigs.
Hold on, because I still ain't even checked the camera to see if I messed it up, though. That's what I was supposed to do. That's what I was supposed to do, and I still ain't even do that. Okay. But I'm glad I checked, bro. That's crazy. All right, back to the video.
SUVs, dune buggies, motorcycles covered with a bunch of different sensors, LiDAR, RGB, the list goes on. And then the results. The first year was an abysmal failure, with Carnegie Mellon's Sandstorm making it the furthest ahead at just 7.4 miles. But just 18 months later, in 2005, they ran this competition again. Same desert, slightly different course, and this time a $2 million prize. And 5 vehicles finished the entire 132-mile course. Stanford's modified Volkswagen won in 6 hours and 53 minutes, led by a man named Sebastian Thrun, who would later go on to start Google's self-driving car project. Carnegie Mellon came second. Then in 2007, DARPA created the Urban Challenge, which moved to a mock city at a former Air Force base, where basically you had cars that had to navigate traffic, intersections, deal with things like parking and merging, like essentially simulating actual driving. This year, Carnegie Mellon's boss won first place, led by Chris Urmson, who would later also lead Google's self-driving car project. So you might see a theme emerging here, because in January 2009, within Google X, essentially Google's moonshot factory, 2 co-founders by the name of Sergey Brin and Larry Page began a project called Chauffeur. Their challenge was to build an autonomous vehicle that started with completing 10 100-mile routes across California without any human intervention. The team, of course, was led by Sebastian Thrun and Chris Urmson, the 2 previous DARPA winners. And by December 2009, they had completed the first route. And by the mid-2010s, all 10 routes were done. But as things go in tech, the first 80% is easy. That last 20%, oh my god, it's a killer. So despite these quick successes, it started to reveal a larger underlying problem. Basically, if you took predetermined routes, that was super easy to achieve very quickly. The car could handle specific mapped out drives. Imagine having a very detailed version of Google Maps that tells you exactly where the lanes are, what kind of turns to make, and it's basically playing out those instructions. But general driving, the everyday random experience of like the chaos of real roads, that was exponentially harder. You had all of these edge cases that these systems didn't know how to deal with, like a kid chasing a ball into the street, a construction worker waving you through a red light, a freaking plastic bag blowing across the highway that looks like an obstacle. It was very hard to explicitly program these machines to deal with all of these edge cases. This in the field is called a long tail problem. where that last 1% of driving situations actually contains 99% of the difficulty in creating a truly autonomous vehicle. Now, up until 2010, it was only in the academic and research communities and these like DARPA grand challenges that people even knew that autonomy was being tackled. Then, in 2010, Google publicly revealed their project, and the world first learned that self-driving cars were real. 2 years later, in 2012, Google had their first autonomous vehicle licensed in Nevada. But I would say it's in 2013 that the gold rush for autonomous vehicles truly began.
So, if you ask me,
Heart emoji. Heart emoji. Aww.
The best group chats happen in real life.
He's so funny.
I love you guys.
You can just see, people coming back together and finally realizing, like this.
But I think they been had autonomous vehicles. They just gotta either they been had it. Okay, so it's either like this. Either they been had them, the military or whatever, or whoever, the government, or they been knew how to make them, but they had to have us do it to make it seem like, or they had so-called regular people do it, or even have us regular people do it, commoners, to make it seem like it's something that has been progressing over time or got invented and have progressed over time type shit.
Elon Musk publicly started discussing Tesla Autopilot for the first time, saying that it had already proven itself in planes and they might be able to have that same capability in cars. All right, so everyone throws around self-driving like it's one thing. It's actually not. There are 5 different levels of autonomy, and honestly, most people, including folks in tech, often get them confused. All right, so let me break it down quickly because the differences actually matter. Level 1 is driver's assistance. This is basically what your dad's old SUV has. Think of it like a single automated system like adaptive cruise control. The car handles the speed, but you're still 100% doing the steering, you're watching the road. It's essentially a helper, not a driver. Then you have level 2, which is partial automation. This is where things get interesting. Like, the car can start handling steering and acceleration at the same time. Think Tesla Autopilot or GM Cruise Control. But the catch is, of course, you still have to keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road, right? Like, you're the fail-safe. If the car gets confused, that's on you. Then you have level 3, which is conditional automation. This is really the look ma, no hands phase, right? Like, at least temporarily. The car can actually drive itself in specific situations, like when you're on the highway. You can technically take your eyes off the road to check a text or whatever, but you have to be ready to jump back in the second the car beeps at you. It's essentially like a co-pilot that occasionally panics and needs you to help, but largely will drive you to your final destination. I would argue this is where Tesla actually is today. Then you have level 4, high automation. This is the holy grail for most commuters. This car can handle everything within a specific area or geofence. So if you're a level 4 robotaxi in a city, like, you could take a nap in the back. This is me sitting in a Waymo in Austin. Like, I don't think about anything. I'm like working on my laptop, trusting that this thing gets me to the final destination. But if you take it outside of its map zone, game over. It needs a human or it safely pulls over. And then finally, we have the holy grail, full automation. This is the sci-fi dream. Like, no steering wheel, no pedals, no driver's seat. The car can go anywhere a human can, in any weather condition, any time of day. You are simply a passenger in a mobile living room. We're not quite there yet, but that is the final destination. So these levels of autonomy were codified in 2014 and became the basis for the rest of the industry to hill climb. Later in 2014, Tesla announced their first autopilot hardware with Mobileye cameras and chips. They pull the best engineers from Google's self-driving project. Meanwhile, Google revealed the Firefly prototype, this gumdrop-shaped vehicle with no steering wheel, because why the hell do you need one if the car's doing the driving for you? In 2018, Tesla went on to ship Autopilot V1, where it could do lane keeping and adaptive cruise control. Meanwhile, Uber opened up its Advanced Technology Center in Pittsburgh, poaching like 40 plus Carnegie Mellon researchers. In 2016, Uber launched their self-driving pilot in Pittsburgh. And actually, Google spun off Waymo as an independent Alphabet company. Like, this was going to be big. Cruise emerged as another startup founded in 2013, which was later acquired by General Motors for $1 billion. And Tesla shipped enhanced autopilot with new hardware, ditching Mobileye, electing to build their own system. Now, Mobileye is still very influential, but that's a different video altogether. So around 2016 is also the first time I got to try Waymo. Now, at this point in history, everyone truly thought that self-driving was like 2 to 3 years away. And let me tell you, it wasn't. Very quickly, the promises began to break down. In 2017, Waymo successfully launched their fully driverless rides in Phoenix suburbs, but in a very small geofenced area, often with a safety driver that could take over just in case something happens. Meanwhile, Tesla promised full self-driving coast-to-coast by the end of the year. That did not happen. Very quickly, the Game of Thrones also began, poaching ideas, IP, talent. In 2018, Uber settled with Waymo for $245 million over stolen trade secrets. Then, an Uber self-driving car was involved in the first fatal autonomous vehicle crash in Tempe, Arizona, killing a pedestrian. Uber immediately suspended the program. Then 2019 came about. Tesla sold a fully self-driving option on their cars for an additional $6,000, but it couldn't actually self-drive. The idea was that this thing would just get better, and this was an early investment. And Waymo launched Waymo One. This is basically a public robo-taxi in
Damn, for $6,000 and they couldn't even already do it. Shit, ain't no way I would have did it, whether I had it or not.
the Phoenix metropolitan area. And of course, in 2020, we get hit by that massive virus. Tesla starts building Dojo, their supercomputer to train cars. And the industry quietly shifted from, this is almost solved, to, holy crap, this is a fundamentally harder problem than we all previously thought. That same long-tail problem that Google discovered in 2009 was eating every other effort alive. Yes, predetermined routes were easy, but the rest of the world was untouchable. Now, before we get into the change that completely reinvented...
How long is this? Shoot. That's the end of this video, because damn, that's messed up. Damn, bro, that's messed up. So yeah, I guess for the first little half, you could just have it on in the background and some shit, or have it on while you cooking and just listen, because it ain't nothing to watch besides if you're just gonna watch me. But yeah, shit, yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. I bet you I'm not doing. I think that's, well, besides when I was recording the video, I don't think I ever did that live. But I bet you it ain't gonna happen again. It ain't happening again. But that's crazy. I kind of like wanted to redo the whole video, but shit, I ain't gonna touch on the same points. So, and I can't go through and like put the video on there because it's live. So, damn, I'm just hopefully I can what you call it, probably maybe put something in the beginning to let people know that it's gonna be you know what I'm saying, I forgot to switch the screen or something, but yeah, we'll see after we get done processing and all that. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Yeah, hey, like I said, I just want to touch on the 3-eye atlas one more time, because that's what I think the 3-eye atlas really is. I don't think it was no alien spaceship, none of that other stuff, or a floating rock or asteroid or whatever they was trying to call it. I don't think it was none of that. I think, and I wasn't never thinking there was none of that. I just didn't know what it could have been at the time. I was thinking maybe it was like some type of germs or something, because the way they would have like some of the older footages of it inside, it looked like it could have been something like the blurry, grainy footages. It looked like it could have been something in like a petri dish or something. So I thought it might have been some type of germs, but now I see that it's really these robots. 3-eye atlas, they said, I think supposedly it was here or something like that now. or whatever the case. It was something like that. It may have landed or some shit. Not landed, but like it's here on Earth, some shit. I don't know, but it's here now because guess what? The robot's here now that they can do all types of shit looking like humans and shit like that now. But yeah, that's the end of this video, man. Hopefully, if y'all watched it this far, man, that's real as hell. I know some of y'all. I know a lot of people probably clicked off. I know I probably ain't even get a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if you did, for sure, man, check out my other videos. You know what I'm saying? Especially my live stream. Yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all on that one, man.
If you can hear this, you're in the circle now. Check your shoulders. Make sure it's just you and these words. You have now tuned in to the Let 'Em Know podcast, where the real talk's quiet and the truth talks loud. No accidents. You found this frequency. So sit back. Lock in. Let 'em know you're listening. You're now tuned in to the Let 'Em Know podcast.